So Adepticon 2014 is in the books. I've been back for 3-4 days at this point, and I had a really great time, like I knew I would. It's a great convention. I'm going to talk more about that after I get done with the booty, which I know, which is what you're all here to see, is the booty. And by what you all are here to see, most people don't seem to watch the Adepticon videos. I don't know why. So if you are watching it right now, you're one of the few. The 2013 videos have not gotten real high viewership. So if you're watching, hey, thanks. All right, so when you get there and you've registered, they give you a swag bag, which in the past used to be like a shopping bag that had like some game company's stuff printed on the side. Not this year. Oh no. This year, it's one of these things. It's like a kind of like a little backpack. You see the high school kids wearing them. You could do something with that and carry about 6 things in there, I guess. But, you know, it's got the cool logo printed on it, and it was free, so, well, I mean, you know, it came with the badge. But this is what all the swag came in this year. Now, I did not get in early enough to get the full swag bag, which included a starter from Privateer Press, Signar or Crix or some sort of, I don't know if it had Hordes in it or not. I think it might have been just War Machine. I didn't see any Hordes ones, but you got a starter plus also this other stuff. Okay, lanyard thing, so you can keep your badge in there. Yeah. Victoria Miniatures had something, a card here with a thing here talking about their limited edition miniature, which is this guy back here. He looks kind of like he's a Imperial Guard guy holding up like a big banner sort of thing. It's kind of a neat little fig. So if you're into that kind of stuff, oh, it's actually a lady. It's a lady Imperial Guard holding up a thing. So if you're into that kind of stuff, that's the kind of stuff that you're going to be into. Ethereum was a new game that was being showed off there. You couldn't buy it yet. It's in Kickstarter, but they were playing it and showing it off. I went by and looked at it a little bit. Battle Foam, Flyer, some video game for tablets that's got Games Workshop IP. Oh, there's some stickers. I don't know what that is. In here, we've got a guy from Wreckage, I think. I'm not exactly sure who this guy's from. He's just in a little bag by himself. This is the kind of stuff that you find in your Adepticon swag bag. Secret weapon, Wargamma. So all of this stuff is the stuff you go through in the swag bag. Then there were magazines. This is Ravage magazine, which you may have seen before. I've picked it up before at other conventions, and it's actually a pretty decent magazine about miniatures. And you get a free one in the swag bag, so that was cool. This is a Dust Tactics pamphlet put out by Battlefront, because Battlefront now does Dust Tactics and Dust Warfare, and it's basically an instruction manual that shows you how to play Dust Tactics. Not Dust Warfare, but Dust Tactics, so that's kind of cool. Plus, it's got pictures of the cool models and stuff like that in there, which I'll get to in a sec. Wargame Soldiers and Strategy, WSS. This is a very good magazine as well, and there's a free one inside the swag bag, which was pretty cool. I have looked through this before. There's a lot of, it's from Europe, but it's got a lot of cool stuff in it. Painting and hobby. It's not just like a catalog, you know, like some other magazines. One of the last things in the bag was Angel Exterminatus by Graham McNeil from Black Library. This is the full, you know, paperback. This is not like a introductory, like half a paperback or anything like that. It's the whole deal. And I'm looking forward to reading it. It's one of the Horus Heresy books, and I really dig the Horus Heresy books, so now I've got a free one. And I didn't already own this one, so double bonus. So that was the swag, the booty, if you will, that came in the swag bag. Now is the actual real booty, as opposed to that fake, no, that's not fake booty, but you know what I'm saying. This is the stuff I actually paid for, things that I saw that I wanted to buy. One of the first things that I bought was Chinese food. This is not Chinese food. It's a Chinese food package, but what it is it is filled with lots and lots of these things, which are MDF shapes, circles, squares, different sizes, things like that. They're over at the Battlefront booth, and you can use them for all kinds of things, for basing, for whatever, for tokens. I'm going to use them for tokens and markers for Malifaux, because there's 30mm, 40mm, 50mm. I need blast tokens, I need scrap tokens. Well, no, I don't need scrap tokens. I do need corpse tokens, though. So I'm going to use these and make my own tokens. Because you really don't, I mean, from what I understand, Weird doesn't seem to sell the tokens separately. They kind of, I don't know why they don't. Other companies are starting to, laser cut companies and things like that. But this, I stuffed this thing full. It was 15 bucks. So there's a lot of stuff in here. I'm not going to pour it out because it will make a giant mess. But there's a lot of stuff in here. And they had a bigger box that was $20, and you could just stuff it as full as you wanted. Actually, when I walked up with this full to pay the man, he's like, you can do better than that. You can put more stuff in there. And at the time, I was like, I'm good. I don't need any more. But so he kind of shrugged his shoulders and took my $15. You also find things that you may not find anywhere else, ever. This is a little bag that's marked objective markers. It's pretty much what it is on the tin. Can't see them real well here, but what they are is they're little resin two-piece objective markers. In Warhammer 40K, there is a specific mission where you have to set out 6 objective markers, and 1 is worth 1 point, and 2 are worth 2 points, and 2 are worth, and you know, if you've played 40K, you know that one, and it's always a scramble to try to figure out, well, go get some little pieces of paper up at the front counter, and then we'll cut, and then we'll draw little names or numbers on them, and then hide them under dice, and it's just a giant pain in the ass. And it, you know, the objectives that they sell, and by they I mean Games Workshop, don't take that mission into, you know, they just don't take that mission into the little skulls, you know what I'm talking about, with those little dice. The dice and the skulls are neat, but they don't take that mission, that particular mission into, you know, thought when they made those objectives. They weren't thinking of it. So some other company, I don't know who, amrogers3@hotmail.com, packaged these little babies up. And they are two-piece. They all look the same, but on the inside they have a number. And there's another little piece that goes over that number, so you can kind of, you know, do the little shell game and mix them all up, put them on the board, and then when you take that objective, you take the top piece off, and you look and go, oh, it's a 3, or whatever. So these are 15 bucks, and I bought these kind of in the hallway from a lady who was just sort of sitting there. She wasn't with a company. She just brought a bunch of these and a bunch of other junk and was just selling it. She wasn't in the main bits trading hall. She was sort of out in the regular hall, and I don't know if she was licensed. I have no idea, but I bought them. And here they are. So there you go. Speaking of bits trading happens on Friday and Saturday nights, usually starting between 9 and 10 and going till about midnight. Once all the tournaments are done, they kind of clear off a bunch of tables and people just set up stuff and just go to town. I didn't buy a lot there this year. In general, I didn't buy a lot at all, actually. I didn't really go crazy money-wise, but I did buy a couple of things here and there. One of the things I bought at Bits Trading this year was this thing, which is for Dust Warfare and Dust Tactics, and I am going to use it for Dust Warfare, of course. It is a Prinsluther or a Sturmprins, depending on how you put it together. It's basically a 4-legged transport for your Axis troops. And I paid 20 bucks for it. It's still in the shrink. You can probably see that if it's all shiny. This is still in the shrink. It's basically painted gray. It doesn't look exactly like this. It's painted gray, but I can spruce it up and make it look cool and stuff like that. Or, you know, just not if I don't want to, because it's already got decals and things like that on it. But yeah, 20 bucks, brand new, in the box. This is retails for more than 20 bucks. I'll just tell you that right now. This is the kind of stuff that you can find, this and more, at the Bits Trading Bazaar, or whatever. They don't have an official name for it yet, but that's what happens on Friday and Saturday nights after the tournaments close. Let's see, what else? I played a demo of Wrath of Kings, and it was kind of cool. The models I thought were a little bit cooler than the actual game. It was a demo, so when you run a demo, you usually run a simplified version of the game, but the problem is then the people who play the game, and at the end of the game, they're like, well, that seemed kind of simple. And then you, as the person running the demo, is like, well, I was giving you the simple rules because it was a demo. So I don't know if there's a good way to run a demo, but still impress upon the players about the complexity of the rules without having to teach them up front the entire complexity of the game, so they can get a really good grasp of what's going on. I think maybe if you gave them the demo rules, but as they were playing, you were explaining, okay, if this was not the demo, then you would also have these other choices, or these things could happen, or whatever. But the fact of the matter is that then you would need one guy at each table, and we had one guy at about 5 tables, and he taught us all the rules, and then we all kind of had to go, and then he would answer questions as he could. But it's a cool figure. He's a fish man, so, you know, I like fishmen. And it's resin. The main guys that you buy when they come out, and again, they're not quite out yet, they will be all injected molten plastic, and this is resin because it's kind of the preliminary stuff. But the models that I played with and that everybody else was playing with there, I thought were kind of cool. So it's not a skirmish game. It's probably, the way it was explained to us, probably between 40 and 60 figures per army. So that's kind of a lot of figures if you're not looking for that. When I sat down and played the demo, I'm like, oh, good, 8 guys. It's a skirmish game. But that was, again, just a demo. But otherwise, neat model. There's a company there called Warsenal that has a small booth in one of the side rooms, and they were selling a lot of laser cut acrylic and MDF stuff. And sometimes that stuff can kind of look a little weird. You're like, oh, look, they made a, you know, whatever out of MDF. And you can just look at it and go, that doesn't look right. But these are cool. These are pallets. You know, like shipping pallets that stuff comes all wrapped up on, and then the forklift can get under it and lift it around. And so pallets are made out of wood already, so when you make tiny, tiny, tiny little ones out of wood and litter them all over your board, MDF is perfect. This is $6, and you can make 8 of them out of here. So I've got 2 of them. I paid $12. I'm going to have 16 pallets. This is the kind of stuff that I think is really cool. The laser cut MDF, laser cut acrylic stuff is really exploding. You can see tons and tons of different terrain, and if they build it right, you don't notice so much that it's MDF. But sometimes you can really just decide, you know what, we're just going to embrace it. We're going to make wooden pallets out of these MDF things and make them to scale, and they look, I think, really awesome. They're great looking little embellishments to your miniatures board. Another company I've been a fan of for a while, I bought stuff, if you remember, from 2013 Adepticon, is a company called Ironheart Artisans. And this is a cool little rack, again made out of MDF, laser cut MDF, and you sit it on your table while you're painting, and then you put your brushes in it. It's like a brush rack, and you think of like one of those racks for different samurai swords, but this has got space for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different brushes. It comes unassembled. You kind of slide all the pieces together, put some dabs of glue in there if you want to, and it builds you this cool little rack, so your brushes aren't, if you're messy like me, they're not just amongst your paints and difficult to find and getting under stuff. They're all, you know, above the fray and hopefully undamaged. So this thing was, I don't know, $15 or something like that, maybe less. And it's a little MDF, great little piece of kit that I've been kind of looking for some sort of solution like this for a while. So walked up to the booth, saw it, said, that's what I want. That's Adepticon. Last couple of things. Adepticon makes their own dice every year. I have a kind of grayish silver pair, or set, not a pair, a set from last year. These are metallic-y orange, and so I had to make sure to get some of these because, I don't know, I think they roll better. It could be just a placebo, but I think they roll better, and so I like them. Also, I got some of the new Airbrush primer from Badger. This is a little test pack. These are 60 milliliters each. There's black, gray, and white. And it's Steinres. I can't read, I don't know what the heck that word is. Steinelres. I'm going to say it's Steinelres. But that's the name that they decided to go with. And it's, from everything that I've been reading and talking to people like Hugo, who obviously is well known, people like Chung, a lot of people who airbrush a lot, they were like, this is really, really good. And I generally love Vallejo surface airbrush primer, and I've been using that for a long time, and I like that so much more than Rattle Can because I can do it in the house, I can do it whenever. So I'm really looking forward to trying this out because they've been highly rating it, and I really want to give it a try. So this was like $10 for 3 of these things. It's a great little tester pack. It's going to take a long time for me personally, as a person who does not paint constantly, like, you know, like a commission painter. It's going to take me a long time to go through these, But they had huge bottles too that were like, I don't know, a pint or something like that, so that you could also buy. So I'll let you know how these kind of turn out once I start doing some testing with them, or just painting my normal stuff. But yeah, black, white, gray, which for me is a great little package to pick up when you're trying to find stuff for airbrush priming for Badger. One of the last pieces of swag I've got is this t-shirt. I think you can see that. It's from Wargamer Girl. You are probably familiar with Wargamer Girl if you're familiar with wargaming videos. She has a channel herself, which is, strangely enough, called Wargamer Girl. You should look it up. She mainly plays, at this point, War Machine and Hordes, but they do some great bat reps. And it was great to finally meet her in person, hung out with her. I mean, honestly, the entire convention, I hung out with a ton of WGC producers. On Friday, I had a party in our hotel room. We didn't stay in the Westin, which is the building that the hotel that Adepticon is actually in. We stayed in a room kind of, basically in a hotel across the Target parking lot, which had bigger rooms because they were suites. So had a great party on Friday night, brought in a whole bunch of WGC people, and Spud Tate, Andy 2D6, I'm going to miss a bunch, Miranda from Wargamer Girl, Chung was there, Les was there, let's see here, Michelle from Oasis Rising was there. Gosh, like I said, I'm going to miss a whole bunch. I know Devin was there, I know Ryan was there, I know Clayton was there. There was all these different people that were there at the party. We had some cocktails, it was a lot of fun. It was just a great, and I've said this I don't know how many times before, this is literally my favorite convention because it's just so great. There's so much going on that's just miniature centric, and I'm so happy to be able to go there. It's not too far from where I live, about 3 hours away, and I can hang out with not only other miniatures players and other miniatures designers and things like that. I can also hang out with a bunch of people who love doing the same stuff, making videos like this, and it's a great time. And like I said, it's just a week past Adepticon at this point, and I'm already looking forward to 2015.